welcome to my channel, and it's Big Bear right here. Today I will show you the next episode in my cheat engine tutorial. In this video I'm gonna show you like some technique that I used recently. Now let's say when you making a script for a table, you notice that whenever the game get updated, and sometimes it breaks your table, right? And then you have to do the whole thing from beginning, looking for the value and stuff like that, and then changing your script. So this technique today, now let's say it will not completely make you safe from the work. Sometimes when the game had a big update and the game structure changing drastically, this technique might not work. But at least like for some of the small update, most of the time your script gonna last for a few updates, and at least like for a while, without you doing a lot of stuff. And also once you get used to this technique over here, you get more understanding about the game structure, and from that once the game get updated, it's gonna be faster for you if you really have to update it. Okay. So anyway, in this video over here, I will provide you with one script called Quick Finish in here. Now, how do I find this one? You might want to watch the first 4 video, basically like focusing more the first 3 video, episode 1, 2, and 3. That I use the same idea. It's not like exactly the same thing, but it's the same idea that looking for stuff. So I noticed that in this game, whenever you put the your mineral into the furnace, right, there's a timer that's gonna running, and it either increase or decreasing, so you just gonna looking for that until you find it. In this video right here, I provide you with this one right here. If you don't want to look for that one, you can just use the script that I have on the screen right here. It's gonna when you download the table, you're gonna see the table with only one script that called Quick Finish incomplete, and I will show you how to complete it. Alright, so basically when you double click on the script over here, you will notice that something like this. And this script right here, of course you can activate it. Okay, I just click on that and you see that it takes a little bit of time compared to my script over here. It's like instantly. Okay, the difference is instead of using the AOB scan, I use the AOB scan region. Let me put. So we're gonna change that into a region, and let me make a copy before I do something crazy and then we lost the script. Anyway, so region means instead of scanning your whole memory, right? This gonna just focusing on a region that you care about, right? In this case right here, I'm just gonna use this address over here. I'm gonna copy that, and for the region you need the starting address and ending address. Okay, so the starting address gonna be this one right here, and the ending address gonna be the one down here. Okay, so just copy it and put it over here. Now let's say sometime when the game update, it's gonna add or remove some of the script, and thus this region might not be good anymore. So what I usually do is I'm gonna add in here. I'm gonna subtract this by about 200. So I have 60 F right here. Now I have 4 GF, and this one right here I'm at 2 more hundred. So from 749, I'm gonna again 949 right here. Okay, so that gonna change our script, and it can activate very quickly. See that it instantly activated. Okay, so that's how you do it once. And then next, okay, we're gonna go for this one. AOB scan basically is scanning the memory for this number right here. Now let's say when your game updated, some of these number might not be correct anymore. They might, for example, 2B, C8 over here, and 898E. Usually the C8 and the AE gonna change. There's some cases where they're gonna change the first number over here, but it not that often. Most of the time it's just the number behind the first one get changing. So what we're gonna do for this case right here, instead of using an array by scan, we still use array by, but this technical signature scan. So basically we're just looking for like the first value in here. Okay, so I'm gonna do this one right here, 2B, right? I'm gonna do a wildcard over here. So wildcard mean like whatever number will be accepted in the scan. So it either like C8 or like FF or like DE, whatever it's gonna be, you know, like it's gonna accept it at the variable for the scan, but the number before must be 2B. All right, and I'm gonna do the next one, gonna be 8, 9, right? And I do another wildcard. So instead of like AE and D0 and 0, 0, something like that, right? I'm gonna put them all to the wildcard. Okay. So D0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then we go to the next slide, we have ID5, right? C9, I'm gonna use a wildcard in here, and then we have 0F, right? And then another wildcard. The more wildcard you put in here, the more likely you can find the stuff. Like exactly location that we need to go. Okay, so 33 C9 gonna be wildcard, 89 AE D0 0 0 0, and then 83 7E 50A 06 and 0F. Now when you use the region scan, you do not really need to go that long, but I'm just thinking ahead, like when the game updated, right? And then you know they might add in more script, and there's something might be similar to this pattern right here. So I added this really long right there, and I'm gonna do a check over here, right? I'm gonna do new scan, okay? And you're gonna go for this right here. All right, so not the check mark, not the blank. It's gonna be like a square in here, okay? And then you're gonna put the value type into array of byte, right? And then this mark should be checked right here, hex. And then you're gonna copy this and paste it in here. And let's test us how our signature scan go. First scan, okay, so this not gonna go anywhere, right? Because there's no result in here. There's something wrong in my pattern in here. Let's try with less pattern. How about that? I remove some and then go back in here. Still not finding it. There's nothing like that. Oh, I need to remove this one first. That's why. Because like when you activate this script, it changed the pattern here to, instead of like sub and move, it changed to a jump, right? So we need to change that. All right, now I think this should be good now. There we go. So we only have found one solution in here. If you have more than one, then you might want to keep looking at the memory region, right? And you just keep going down the list over here. Again, the longer the longer your signature scan, the more likely you're gonna get into that specific section. Okay, so this one is good enough. Like this one scanned the whole memory, and it only found one file. It only, let me see, where's my thing? It's only found one result. So this one is very good one to use. I'm gonna copy this one over here and paste it in here. Okay, so now you create a AOB scan that will last for a while, unless the game have like very big update changing the majority of the game structure. This AOB, this signature scan over here, gonna give you, basically they're gonna last forever. Most of the time when they update it, the worst thing you might need to do is kind of like, like change this region right here. So again, right now it might be 4DF plus and go to like 949. When it update, it might change to like 60F, and this one gonna like be 49, something like that. Okay, but you don't have to worry about this one. And if you want to find out where they are, again, you just copy the whole signature scan over here, right? Paste it in here and do another search to see where it is, and then you just do another injection at that point. So that one thing. Now the next one we're gonna do is we're gonna utilize a function in cheat engine having called ReadMem. Okay. Now let's say, like I said earlier, sometimes when the game updated, this part right here is no longer EAX. So your script will crash the game. So for example, instead of sub ECX with EAX, it's gonna be like sub ECX with EBX, right? So it can be something like this instead of this line right here, right? And then because we do not know that it changed, it will crash the game, and it, you know, a lot of people asking me, oh, when the game updated, activate the script, it crashed the game, and this most likely the reason. Maybe this script right here, instead of like RSI plus D0, right, it's gonna be RAX plus FF, whatever it become, right? So the downside of this script right here is like it a fixed one. So when the game updated, this one will not get updated, and you have to manually update it, right? So we're gonna use ReadMem in here to like bypassing that error right there, and you don't really have to do much. If you notice recently in a lot of my table, a lot of games that, you know, was working, the table lasting for a while, and this is the method that I use. So again, we're gonna use ReadMem over here. ReadMem gonna reading at the point that we assign, and then you're gonna add in how many offset you're gonna read, right? So over here, I'm going, since I found the injection point right here, right, at quick finish, and that's what way I name it, but it's gonna be right here. I'm gonna ReadMem quick finish in here, right? And then I wanna count. Over here, we see that it go 2 line, right? You can also see it kind of right here, and we're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So 8 of them. You can also use this one right here. Jump usually use 5 bytes, and then not 3 mean another 3 bytes. So 3 plus 5, that means 8. So we're gonna use the quick finish ReadMem at 8 right here. So basically these two lines over here and this line right now are the same. It's just that this line right with this line right here, where whatever these two become in the future update, it will automatically reading that section for you, so you don't really have to do much of it. So same for this part right here, that when the game updated, you know, like the instead of DB2, this number 2B C8 89 AE D0 something, it can be something like this. It might change to something like 2B 8A and then FE DD EE 000, something like that. I don't know. I just like making up those numbers, but again, when the game update, that might be the case. So to be able to preventing, you know, like a glitch in the script when we disabling it, we could also utilize ReadMem in here. Okay, but because we in the disable part right here, we need to read something else. We cannot just read this one over here, because this part on the memory region have been changed to a jump, right? So let's take a look over here. When I activate the script, right, this sub and move right here gonna turn to a jump. There we go. See that it turned to a jump and not right here. So if you do a ReadMem at quick finish, more likely you're gonna just repeating the jump and not right here, and basically that's gonna crash your game. Okay, so we're gonna ReadMem this part right here with the code. Okay, so I'm gonna call this one code quick finish. It's kind of like easier for me to keep track of things. Now, since you change the code name, you're gonna need to change it at the label right here as well. Okay, and then if you want to have something for the game to read, right, you need to register the symbol for it. So I'm gonna add the register symbol over here. I'm gonna add in code quick finish in here, and then now I go to the disable part. I'm gonna put it in here, code quick finish, right? It's gonna read at this part right here. So this part right here basically like the copy of these two lines, right, or this whole thing right here, and then I'm gonna put at 8. So we're gonna read like 8 bytes from that spot and to return it to where it was. So now let's test the function. Okay, so we're gonna go okay, and then we're gonna, because I changed this one, 1 second, let me remove this first and then remove this. Okay, so now let's take a look over here. When I activate the script, right, the sub right here gonna change to a jump, right? And when I deactivate the script, it returned to where it was. Okay, so that how how we do, and more likely this script gonna last for a long time. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, second thing in here, this script didn't do anything yet. It just like, you know, put a jump in there, but it basically copy up these two. It do not do anything. Most of the time, the modification part gonna go into the new mem over here. Okay, so back to the earlier problem. I noticed that the furnace, whenever you put anything in there, it's gonna have a timer, and when a timer reach 0, the item is done. Right? If you put like some copper art in there, and after like a while, the copper art gonna turn into like whatever. I forgot that thing. It's gonna turn into a copper bar. Okay. Now, I don't want to wait that long. I am busy one and I don't have much time, okay? I like to enjoy the game, but I do not like spending like 3 months just to, you know, like grinding stuff. So I want my furnace to produce my item faster. And this function right here, right? So the RSI plus D0 right here, basically like holding the timer. And then the value of the timer gets subtraction by EAX, okay? So one of the things you can do is you're gonna do a sub ECX with a big number in here, for example, like 2000, and then you're gonna see that you're gonna see the item gonna be complete way faster. The problem is that again in the future when the game is having some changes, right, updated stuff like that, the ECX right here might not be ECX anymore. It can be like EBX or EDX or ESI or whatever it can be, right? And then whatever we have over here in the past will crash the game, and we don't want that. Okay, and I'm lazy to, you know, like I make like more, I think like 30 or 50 tables somewhere, and kind of like whenever everybody come in and telling me, hey, can you update the table, that's gonna be a pain because there are too many things to do. So I try to do things easier. So in this case right here, instead of doing another sub in here, right, you don't want to kind of like sub ECX and EAX anymore. Again, it's gonna crash the game in the future update. So instead of that, I'm gonna use ReadMem. Okay, so I'm gonna ReadMem here, and I'm gonna ReadMem at quick finish, right? And I noticed that right here, the first 2 bytes right here, basically that function, that instruction right there, right? So what I'm just gonna do right here is whatever that sub become in the future, it's gonna be the same thing anyway, right? It always be like a sub from kind of like the actual time and then some of the time passing by, right? So I'm gonna do quick finish 2 only, and that means this one right here equal to sub ECX and EAX for this example right here. Okay. All right, but this one right here, when I do the trigger tracking stuff, like I found EX only like 10, and then ECX holding the number like 10,000 or 20,000 somewhere. So it takes a little bit of a while for that thing to finish. So what I'm gonna do over here is like I'm just gonna adding it like this. Okay, so 5 of them mean like, you know, we make ECX reduce like 5 times faster, right? And I like it to be even more, so I'm adding like 5 more. This is like 10 times faster, and this is like 15 times faster, something like that. Okay, so now let's test it. Let's see, do I have any no, I don't. Let's hope that the guy who's selling the art still selling stuff. Or maybe I just do this, huh? Something look like this here. Iron art, awesome. Let's see, I have only 1 right here. Do I have anything? No. Okay, it's fine. 1 is good enough. We only need that 1. I'm gonna do some quick stuff right here. This one is 3. New scan. Go back to 4 byte and 3. First scan. Split this one. Now I have 2, and then I move this one over. I have 1. I'm gonna change this one to 99, for example. Now I have 99 iron ore. Okay, So let's say without the script, I'm gonna get into here and put it in there. I need code. Hey, yeah. Okay, get some of these and put it in here. So you can see right now it's running and it's quite slow. So I'm gonna put this in here, and again we have like 15 times faster activated. Go back to the game. It's fast enough? Not really. Right. Oh, there we go. It's finished. So it's 15 times faster. Right. How about I do more? Okay. And also keep in mind that when you keep adding here, so I have like 30 times faster. You know, sometimes you might want to increase the allocation over here. I put it at 100 right here, but 200 maybe if you want to put more in there. Okay, let's try again and see how this thing works. Put it in. Should be like try fast. There we go. Right. How about I be a little bit more greedy? I'm gonna put it 60 times faster. Okay, and then put this in and instant. Almost an instant. Okay, so that is how you do it. This script over here, it looked quite crazy this way, but again, this script right here more likely gonna last through the update than, you know, like you do a smaller script with sub ECX to some number in here. Right? This one right here is very simple, but again, the more simple your script, the more likely it will not work when again had an update. All right, so that should be it for today. Again, I will include the table in the video description. You can get it over there and complete it yourself. All right, thank you for watching, and I will see you later.